Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Unlock the Middles Principals Roundtable, navigating leadership on a Friday afternoon. Chris, I'll tell you what, it's been a great week here navigating through what we're doing at our middle school here in Charlton, Massachusetts. But I'll tell you something. Fridays, I always get real excited because we have a new platform that we're bringing to the table right now, and we're bringing in educational leaders from around the country. And we're talking about just educational topics that just help us connect and become better. Again, my name is Dean Packard, principal at Charlton Middle School, and alongside of me, my good friend, Principal Chris Starcheski of the mighty Fighting Titans of Dudley Middle School. Chris, happy Friday, and how are you?
Woo! It's Friday afternoon, Dean. Let me tell you, what a week it's been. We had a whirlwind. We had one direction set on Monday afternoon, and then by Tuesday night, the direction shifted a bit with the wind, and our pivots are in full swing, and we are taking on the challenge.
Pivots, man. Let's not talk about pivots in education right now. Let's just talk about stable, consistent learning and doing our best and figuring out what that looks like.
About that, Dean. In order for us to get things done, we got to be nimble. We got to be quick. But most importantly, we got to have things like this back and forth relationship and conversation with colleagues, whether you're in the same district, in the same level, in the same state. It doesn't matter where you are. You've got to build that PLN, because without it, you're on an island, and everybody knows who's a principal or any type of school leader. You are on an island. The level of confidence that we have shrinks. The level of connections that we have shrinks. We're not making friends all the time out there in the community. We're not making friends all the time in the building, but it's about productivity and it's about educational improvement. And you got to get ideas from others. And today we're going to hear some.
Yeah, we are, Chris. And you know what I often look at, after 28, 29 years in education and 18, 19 in administration, building a PLN has been something that has really saved me, and it has helped me. I learned so much from just picking up my phone and going on to Twitter and just looking what's out there and just seeing. I don't always have to talk when I'm in these PLNs. Just listen. It's not about reinventing. It's about giving the validity to be able to do something else that you see out there. We're so busy as educational leaders that sometimes we don't stop to smell the roses. And that's what this is all about today. And I'm super excited to bring in our guests. And I think let's bring them in. Let's start talking about the importance of this.
That's a great idea. Let's go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and bring them in, and I will go ahead and get the banners up.
Let's do it. All right. We're going to bring in Bobbi French first. Hi, Bobbi. How are you today?
Thank you guys, for joining us. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you as well. And Rob Breyer as well from North Carolina, Camden Elementary School. Bobbi from the home state of Massachusetts, right here in our backyard. Thank you so much for joining us. And, I've had an opportunity to see you out on the PLN network quite a bit, Bobbi. And I love the fact that there are just the fairways so big that you can get out there and just kind of, start talking and start collaborating with people. And that's the beauty of the PLN in general.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how I've met all three of you, actually. So if it wasn't for that, and, Chris and Dean, you're right here in Massachusetts, but I met both of you actually through social media and through virtual places, to begin with. So, it's important to be connected.
Truth be told, last night when we were talking, Bobbi, I said, who do you have in your PLN who could come on the show today and make a difference right away, nonstop? Rob Breyer.
Bam.
Boom. And Rob, welcome to our show. We're glad you're here today down in sunny North Carolina. I hope it's warm, and I hope the weather's great. And again, thanks for being part of our show today.
Hey, it's a pleasure. I'm so excited. And thank you, Bobbi, for inviting me. And guys, it's a pleasure. I mean, I just expanded my PLN today. I got 2 new guys in my PLN, and I've already learned so much in the past, 15 minutes we've been talking. So it has just been a great conversation. It's sunny. It's a little chilly. Of course, what I call chilly and what you all call chilly are two different things. It's like 70 degrees and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. So,
oh my.
Yes. Yeah. And you guys are sitting there probably 35, 40 degrees?
Oh, today's
70
beautiful.
degrees right now, and it is glorious.
And you're both wearing a short sleeve shirt. Okay.
Hey, let's jump into this for a second and talk about how your PLN has made you better at what you do. Chris and I talk about this stuff all the time, and finding the time to make it happen is a whole nother subtopic. But how has your PLN made you better at your profession? Bobbi, why don't we start off with you?
Well, I'll give you the short version, Dean, because I feel like I'm just so connected with different PLNs. But right now, I want to just focus on two important ones. One is, I've been doing the Lead Lap, which stands for Lead Like a Pirate. They do a Twitter chat every Saturday morning. And for the past several months, there's only been one focus, and it's on anti-racism in schools. And so the best part of that is being able to connect with other educators and leaders and share ideas, and we have a common focus. And so that helps me having that same focus every week, being able to look at that. And then the second thing, the way I've connected with Rob, is we're in a mastermind on Tuesdays. And so we come together, we share, celebrations. We also make a commitment for something that we're going to work on during the week. So we end up having that kind of sense of accountability as well, but also doing what we're doing here, being able to have those conversations, build connections, friendships, which is why when you said who in your PLN, and I gave Rob a quick call last night, and he said absolutely. But for me, those are two, important things, because I'm connecting with, leaders across the country. And so you can always get different perspectives, different ideas, and it just gives you that sounding board.
Rob, how about you?
For me, it's very similar. It's like, I'm a huge fan of Twitter. I've been on Twitter for about 7 years now and absolutely love it. And so you just made a great point. Like, you don't have to necessarily be active in Twitter, but it's so amazing to read stuff that people are putting out there and the ideas that people are sharing. And it just really helps me, because it gives me ways to be innovative and creative. Like, I see these ideas and I can just run with them and build upon them. And so that's been a huge advantage for me. But like Bobbi was just saying, the mastermind programs have been great. I mean, it is so interesting for me because I'm sitting in a room with 18 different school leaders from all over the country. And the things that we're talking about, how similar the issues that we're all facing is, and the struggles that we're having. And it's just so great to get into a room and hear these different ideas and different perspectives, so that I can be like, okay, so that's what they're doing. Here's how I can go and do stuff better at my school. Here's what I can start implementing now. And it's just such a great relief. I was just talking to a friend of mine. His name is Jamie Fry. He's a principal over at Claremont Elementary School here in North Carolina. And it's the first time we had a chance to talk this school year. And it was just so nice to be able to talk to somebody who's right down the road from me, having the same issues, but he's not necessarily in my leadership group, like in my district. So it's just so great to get his perspective on things and just have that chance to talk and really be open and honest about the struggles that I'm having, and to hear his perspective on it and to get his feedback. And it's just nice when you have those people you can reach out to and kind of share ideas. And especially when you're having those bad days, it's great to have somebody to talk to that can really kind of add some different perspective that makes you go, okay, I see where this is going. I now have an idea how I want to fix it, or how I want to address it moving forward. So,
wow. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the relationships that I've started to foster and continue to build, with my colleagues in district, when we have the mindset that we really are better together, and we have those deep, meaningful conversations about some of the technical elements that we're facing. What I find is really beneficial for my members outside the district, though, in my PLN, it's when we're really talking not so much about the technical, because everybody's working on a schedule tweak or an adjustment. We can bounce those ideas off of lots of different principles. But when it comes to that adaptive change, the real significant shifting, other folks have gone through those types of adaptive elements, and that requires a lot more relationship, a lot more conversation, a lot deeper planning than a technical change and a technical shift. And I've been blessed with a lot of folks who have made some real significant risks in their careers and in their schools or in their districts, and to be able to talk with them about how they navigated those really challenging shifts and changes was really powerful. So that adaptive change for me is a real benefit to the PLN because it requires authentic thought and an understanding of what everybody else's experiences were, so you can make good plans.
One of the things that I was thinking about after I spoke with you, Bobbi, is when we came out with how to get off your island and expand yourself. Think about this for a second. It is very easy to get consumed with the day-to-day operations of being an educational leader. I mean, it can consume you. It's 24/7. We don't just punch out the time clock when we leave here at 2:30. I mean, my head spins until the time I go to bed at night. And by the way, it spins all night long. And when I wake up, it's still spinning. So for me, if I'm going to expand who I am and develop a growth mindset as an educational leader, A PLN does just that for me. And if you think about it through your lens, talk a little bit about how it's helped you grow as a person within the field that you work. How important is that? We've got to put aside what we think we know every day and really just say, okay, what else is out there? Because if we do that, we give ourselves the ability to grow. We try to empower teachers to grow. We try to set up PLNs for teachers. From an administrative standpoint, this is just about dialogue. This is about expressing ideas. This is about saying, okay, what works for you and how can I implement it into my game plan?
Well, and I think, Dean, that's the important part is because, if you're doing what you already know, you're not going to try something different, and sometimes the people that you hang out with have that same thinking that you do. And for me, to be honest, I read Lead Like a Pirate and I happened to want to read it right away. And I read it on my Kindle. And the links kept taking me back to Twitter. I'm like, I think I got to join Twitter, and I had been avid Facebook social media user, but I jumped on Twitter and I got connected with, principals actually from Massachusetts and ended up joining the local association, and then obviously principals across the country. And one of the first things I did is I rethought my first day of school, so that's one of the big things, wanting to have, and now it's kind of my why is making school a place that students and teachers want to come every day. So we started having pep rallies on the first day of school and full dance parties in the gym, at the elementary level. So kids were just so excited to be at school. But had I not, then gotten connected, read the book, shared ideas with others, we probably would have been having those same kind of boring first days. And for me, I've started blogging, and how's it changed me personally, being able to reflect and then share that reflection out with people, hoping that will make a difference, for them as well. So, again, we don't, if you're on an island as a teacher and administrator, it's your own fault. There's so many supports and so many things out there to help you, whether you're just going to look for things and read it or whether you're going to get actively involved like, Rob and I do through, these masterminds or Voxer groups or Twitter chats.
Rob, how about through your lens in regards to what it's done for expansion for you?
I was going to say, I'm sitting here listening to Bobbi and you can't say anything better than her. I mean, this is why Bobbi and I instantly connected because she's brilliant and I love it. So, but she's absolutely right. I mean, if you're on an island and you're stuck there, you have no one to blame but yourself. Yeah. One of the things that getting my own PLN and really connecting with different people is I love listening to people talk about their stories and share their ideas and share all that. And it's one of the reasons I've gotten into podcasting. So I created a podcast called the Guiding Principles Podcast where I get on, and the idea behind it is I'm trying to inspire aspiring leaders. But that's the first part of the show. And then the second part of the show is celebrating leadership. And really celebrating the great things they're doing. And they do that by getting feedback from the people that they serve and sharing those stories with them. So they'll go and send me their list. I'll email it out. And then on the show, I'll read them what their colleagues said about them on the show. And it's so amazing the responses that you get from leaders because oftentimes we don't know the impact that we're having on people and we don't understand how far our reach really goes. And so it's really neat to see. PLNs for me have just really provided me that opportunity to get out there and try something different. People in my PLN have really kind of encouraged me to take different steps. Like Bobbi said, I've started blogging. I've been working on a book, started podcasting, and it got me into coaching. So now I'm reaching out to those who are looking to become school leaders, and I'm coaching them and trying to help them get into the role of assistant principalships. It has just been an amazing experience, and I'm thankful for PLNs because otherwise I might have just been stuck in that just moving forward. Because let's be honest, as leaders, we get stuck in just the weeds of our job. And sometimes it's really hard to get out. And I love the saying of you don't know what you don't know. And that's the great thing about PLNs is that there's so many different perspectives, so many different people out there, and they're just giving all these ideas that it really has helped me kind of take more risk and get out there and try new things. Like Bobbi said, in my school, I have a very similar why. I want school to be a joyous and fun place that kids love coming to every single day. And so, having my PL and getting different ideas because I'm always looking for new things that I can do to help encourage kids and inspire kids to want to either read more or score better on whatever they're working on. And you'll find me in silly outfits. In fact, I just posted a picture out there of me wearing a giant polar bear outfit around school. And I'm sitting there in my virtual class, wearing a giant polar bear outfit. Whatever it takes to get kids excited, that's what I love to do. And like my PLN has given me new ideas and new creative ways to approach these things, but not to just do things like that, but to tie it back to curriculum and to really kind of have kids work to go and see me do these silly things. And that, I think that was the biggest thing that I've gotten from my PLN so far.
So, as I'm wondering, and I'm thinking back to how I started, the PLN, it was a Twitter. It was, I don't know, 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. And I originally started to do it as a little bit of an alternative promotional tool for school, and, Facebook was out there, but, it wasn't big on the whole school Facebook page. I am now. We got a great one. But the entry into a PLN, if there are principals or educational leaders out there, what's your recommendation on how to actually get started to build your PLN? And what are your thoughts? Why don't we kick it to Rob to start?
You got to take the first step and get out there. Put yourself out there. Try something. Go on, set up a Twitter account. Connect with a couple, like whoever that might be on Twitter, or just put out, hey, I'm new to Twitter. I'm really interested in this. And you'll be shocked at how many people respond to you and start giving you people that you need to follow or people you need to connect with. For me, my Twitter account is all about education. Those are the people I connect with. Like I have lots of friends who are connected with movie stars and all that kind of, I don't worry about that. I want to know what other educators and other school leaders are out there doing, because that's what I'm interested in. And that's the best thing about it. Voxer is a great tool that I love because with our mastermind program, like there's people on there putting stuff out every single day. And Voxer is an easy thing to use. It doesn't take much time. I listen to it in the car. So like I'll just go and I'll hit play and I'll listen to all the people who were talking that day before. And it's just a great thing for me to catch up. And it kind of inspires my morning. As I'm driving to work, I have a 35, 40-minute ride to work every day. And I'm listening to these chats that they're all having on Voxer, and it just gets me inspired and gets me excited about getting to school because I'm going to get into it today. It is such a fantastic tool. So I recommend you just take the chance and you go out there and explore things. Like check out Teach Better. It's out there. Go to teachbetter.com. Their mastermind is every Tuesday morning. So if you're a school leader, come and join us. The link's out there. It doesn't cost anything. Get on, join us, meet the group, get on the Voxer group. It's a simple thing to do. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever your social media jam is, find it, get out there, take the chance and start connecting with different people.
Good advice. Thoughts, Bobbi?
Well, and I think just to elaborate on what Rob said too, like I think a lot of people feel more comfortable, you join those Facebook groups, they probably join the same ones, but you don't get that same personal interaction. Yeah. So to me, Take that next step, join Twitter. There's 4 of us right here, look us up, follow us. You give me a shout out, I like to shout you back out that you're a new leader. So the other people will follow you. There's some hashtags to follow. Like at the beginning, I mentioned, hashtag, lead lap, which stands for lead like a pirate. I also follow hashtag principles in action, or once a month on a Tuesday, it's hashtag PIA chat. For those of you watching from Massachusetts, next Tuesday is the MSAA chat, our own professional organization on Twitter, led by Marty and Brian. If you've ever seen them, they're just like a comedy duo. But, so you can just follow certain hashtags as well to get started, And what's nice with the Voxer, you have to get connected to a group first to be on there. But like Rob said, again, it's that personal kind of connection. I've done several Voxer book studies. Rob and I were actually fortunate enough to be invited to a Personal Authentic by Tom Murray book study through one of our mastermind colleagues who's running it for her virtual teachers in New York. So when Sari said, anybody want to join? Ironically, it was Rob and I that were like, sure, so you can go beyond the walls of your own school. So now, her teachers are being exposed to the ideas of other people and people from different states. But to me, Twitter is definitely a great launching off point because you can start to have that kind of personal and that back and forth.
Thank you both for mentioning Twitter and some of the hashtags to follow. I think it's also important that folks understand that if they attend a Twitter chat, like next Tuesday's MSAA chat, right? They don't have to participate. Lurk, be a lurker, soak it in, watch how folks respond and provide answers, and then look at responses to the answers and the validation. Soak it in and be a lurker and then take the risk towards the end of your first or your second or your third chat and chime in. And I guarantee you that one chime in is going to get you 5 or 6 followers and 5 or 6 new connections to your PLN. It's a great way to go about it. And I'm so psyched that you mentioned Twitter and the Voxer piece. That's new to me. I'm going to be investigating that over the weekend from my back deck in the cool 68-degree weather with my shorts and t-shirt. I say that.
One of the things I stop and think about is we talk about empowering teachers.
Yeah.
Getting teachers to understand that their PLNs are nothing more than extraordinary vehicles to help them deliver their content in so many different ways. I was a skeptical. I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm hooked on Twitter right now. I mean, I watch it all the time. And I got to put it down because it just consumes so much of my day now. I got to find a way to balance it in. But the people that I connect with and the learning that I can do is second to none. So I'm taking this to another step. Our teachers sometimes are afraid to get involved with social media. And what I need to try to have them do is break it down. Social media is either your best friend or your worst enemy. Yeah. If you utilize it as a tool to help you become better in your classroom, it's a win-win. Okay. And I'm trying to find a way to hook up all the math teachers with the math gurus around the world and the ELA teachers and social studies teachers. It's already done for you. So is there an easy way to do that? I mean, I would love to be able to say there's a secret recipe for everybody. You just got to break down the wall and give it a try. What do you think about that, Bobbi? Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think you just have to dive in. Like, when you talk about kind of those Twitter chats and hashtags, I think I have one on my calendar every night at 9. But unfortunately, I can't make it stay awake every night that late. But there's a lot for teachers. The TLAP, there's which is Teach Like a Pirate. There's Culture Ed. There's the Mastery Chat, which I did my first one last night. There's just so many out there. But the other thing with Twitter is I haven't met anybody that I've connected with that wasn't willing to help, so if you put out there, I'm looking for a Twitter chat for math teachers. I'm looking for a Twitter chat for geometry teachers. Anyone have an idea? You're going to get flooded. It's really been amazing. Because the people out there are so willing to help, which is why they're out there to share their ideas, but they want to be able to connect and support you, teachers, administrators alike.
Rob, you want to take it and run?
I mean, I'll just continue with what she's saying, but it's, Twitter is just so easy to use. And I love what you were saying about the lurking, Chris. I mean, that's absolutely true. You can just sit there and you can lurk. And my phone goes off all night long and it drives my wife absolutely insane because my phone just keeps dinging because I have different Twitter chats all assigned on my calendar. And there's no way, it is impossible for me to attend all these different Twitter chats. And I have 4 kids, so there's just no way I can sit all night and just do Twitter chats. But I love to go back and read, like you were saying, just read them. And so many great things that are being shared. And you can easily do that. And Bobby's absolutely right. You take that chance and you just put something out there like, hey, I'm looking to connect with people and, math fanatics. People will go and just bombard your Twitter account with all these different groups that you can start connecting with. And I just think that that's what makes Twitter so special is people who are on Twitter, they're looking to connect with other people. They are looking to add more people to their PLN because the more people you bring in, the more ideas you all start generating. And the more ideas you start generating, just the more innovation that happens. And I think that's just the most important part about Twitter is it's just so easy to connect. It really takes no effort whatsoever on anybody's part.
Man, we've got a few teachers who are interested in piloting live in-person instruction with their remote kids and streaming. And it's not something that we've really done in this district very well. But just earlier today, I had a conversation with a couple of teachers who really want to delve into this. And the first question was related to, I get it for ELA, I get it for history, I get it for science. How the heck are we going to do this for math? And my immediate first thought was, I'm going to blast that out tonight on Twitter, looking for principals who have teachers who are doing this currently in a math classroom. How can I get these folks hooked up with those people and get them to learn? And perfect opportunity, to go out there and ask that question. So as a school leader, if you get a question posed to you and you don't have the answer, but you have the idea to go out and find the answer, absolutely what Rob and Bobbi have said. Put it out there and you're going to get flooded with responses. So I'm looking forward to Monday morning Because after today, when I put that out, I'm going to shut down for a while. And I'm looking on Monday morning, and I'm going to be able to see all those responses and get those to those teachers.
Hey, well, let's circle back and just a couple takeaways. Let's start at the top, Chris. I'm going to start it with you. Takeaway from talking about expansion of PLNs in your world. Quick 30-second. What are you taking away from the conversation?
Yeah, so about 8 years ago, I read a book called As One, and it was a book on management and leadership. And I brought that into a conversation with my school council. And it was all about the way that we think individually, but collectively towards a common mission and common goal. And for me, a PLN is about moving forward as one, connected virtually or not, being able to get down that pathway together. And that's really, my key takeaway.
Bobbi?
Well, I think, Dean, I don't want to leave without saying, like, the people that I've connected with on Twitter, it's amazing. I feel really gypped this summer, but 2 summers ago, I was able to go out to Spokane, Washington for NAESP's conference. And I knew so many people through Twitter. And like when we met in person, I actually, again, you can find me, at Bobbi French pretty much everywhere. And the only reason I'm not at Principal French is because Principal Mark French had that Twitter handle first. And someone took a picture of us taking a selfie together at the conference because they had the 2 Principal Frenches in the same place. But it was through Voxer to leave a Voxer message, and they're like, we're in the lobby, come meet us for dinner. I went to dinner with 12 of my newest close friends that I'd been connected with for a year. And it's just amazing. You just pick up you had just seen them at dinner last night and you hadn't met them before. So it's just so powerful of those kind of connections you can make. And I also just want to say, I went out to visit a friend in Kansas who was 20 minutes from a principal I was connected to, and I made a surprise visit to her school. We hadn't met in person before. I knew her school was 20 minutes down the road. And so it's just those, when you can take those connections to the next level, it's so worth it. It's pretty amazing. So,
Rob?
Listen to y'all talk, like I go back to that quote about, the smartest person in a room is the room. And that's what your PLN is. It is a room with no walls. I mean, it is forever expanding. So this are the people you want to connect with. Like I was listening to Dean, as you were talking about like teachers, how encourage your teachers to start up a Voxer group for your school, to get on and start sharing different ideas, because even that 6th grade math teacher, when they put an idea out there, their 7th and 8th grade math teachers, they're going to have ideas that might be able to help them do something better.
Yep.
And that's just an easy way to start collaborating. I just had a conversation with one of my friends, and we were talking about, teamwork right now. That is the key to everything we're doing. Yep. And there are no islands. We got to start building collaborative communities that is going to help everybody get better and keep moving forward. Don't be afraid to get out there, put yourself out there and take that chance, take a risk, because you're going to be amazed at the people that you meet. And I've made some of my best friendships now have come through Twitter. People I don't even personally know, but I talk to on a daily basis now because they're people I just connected with, and our mindsets were so similar that we just instantly bonded. And it is wonderful. It's neat to have somebody from Boston who I've never met Bobbi in person, but she just calls and just like, hey, can you come and join me? It's such an amazing opportunity to really meet different people and to get different perspectives. It's going to help everybody grow, and it just helps you get better.
Well, you and Bobbi are both part of the Unlock the Middle family at this point in time. So once you come in, you can't get out. So that's the problem.
Oh, man, that's great.
Okay. And this is all about growth. And, and I'm listening to you guys, and I want to thank you so much for your time. But my takeaway is the world's a small place. I mean, it's much smaller with a PLN. With technology, we can be in the same room. Ideas are big. We can take those ideas. We can develop a growth mindset. And again, we can be as good as we want to be as a result of just picking up the phone and just looking and watching and paying attention. My PLN's growing every single day, and I have yet to shy away from anyone that has stepped foot in, and because we all learn from anybody. We do. It's a continuum of learning in this business, and if we do that, we become the models for success within our buildings, and that's what we have to always remember. So we always, that's what I'm looking for every day.
I love
Chris.
Got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it real, and you got to admit that you can't do it all alone.
You can't.
And
no.
It comes down to modeling for teachers, but more importantly, modeling for kids. And their world is technology. They are digital natives, and we're still the digital immigrants, to Liz Englander from Bridgewater State, kind of coined that phrase when we were talking a few years ago. But the idea of, kids understanding that, yeah, principals can actually post legit stuff to Instagram and have hundreds or thousands of followers.
Put out 2 today.
And they're like, Mr. Starr, you got a TikTok? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to give you the name of the TikTok account. But yes, I do, because I need to know what you guys are doing out there. And I'm going to use it responsibly, and I expect you to as well. But the idea of PLN really teaches them how to network, how to communicate, how to articulate common ground, and really work towards a common goal with others. And that's really one of our key standards, is moving forward. And again, all is one together. And, we really need to do that, especially in this day and age. Not going to make a political statement, but the world needs a hell of a lot more kindness, a hell of a lot more arm linking, and a hell of a lot more positive movement.
Sure does, Chris. You're absolutely right. Hey, I want to thank both Bobbi and Rob for joining us today. Listen, it's a Friday afternoon. We know your time is precious. So again, you're part of the Unlock the Middle family. We're going to get this up and out for everybody to watch later on as well. We'll retweet it out. But thank you so much. We're going to be leaning on both of you as we move forward to continue to grow and to continue to hold these types of conversations. And, happy Friday to both. So Chris, why don't you take us home as you always do? You've got
all right, man. Thanks. Hey, Bobbi and Rob, thanks so much. I'm excited to add you, Rob, to my PLN. I'll be getting a Twitter follow from you in a little while, and I'll be following you. I'm fired up about that. Everybody out there in Unlock the Middle Land, this has been #NavLeadership, Navigating Leadership, Videocast number 2. Tune into us on Fridays. Tune into us on Tuesday nights, where we recognize middle marvels, true champions of the middle school classrooms and schools that take kids and colleagues practices to the next level. And of course, Sunday night, our mainstream show, Unlock the Middle. We got a great one for you this Sunday evening.
Eric
Dean,
Francis.
7 o'clock on Sunday night.
7 o'clock, Eric Francis.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be looking forward to getting out there with all of you in our virtual community. Have a great Friday. Stay strong, be better, be safe, and enjoy your time.